Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and in this video, we are going to talk about how you may be farming the wrong difficulty of the campaign, how the different difficulties compare to each other, and just arm you with some information that will help you make sure you're managing your account the most effectively long term in terms of which area of the campaign that you are going into. Let's get into it. Alrighty, so we're gonna pull up an infographic here in a little bit. Obviously, you know how my videos are by now, but it's important to understand the energy cost as well that goes into the different campaign stages. You've got on normal, they're gonna cost 4, and then on hard, it's a 50% bump up to 6, and then on brutal, it is again gonna go up 2, but it's not 50% this time, it goes up to 8, and then it doubles when you go into nightmares. So usually people are considering between brutal and nightmare, and a nightmare is going to be exactly 2x the energy cost of brutal. And if you are new to raid, a lot of times a question is, why do people do stage 3? Well, stage 3 is the most common stage to farm, is because shields sell for the most, like of the items that are going to drop at the end of the stage, and then you instantly sell them. Obviously, you're not going to keep any of these items anymore once you are min-maxing XP in the campaign. And the ones that sell for the most are the shields. So in terms of squeezing out that little bit of extra percentage on silver acquisition per energy spent, usually stage 3 is the one you want to go with. And actually, let me slide myself up a little bit so you can see the difficulty that I'm talking about. So anyway, typically I recommend that people farm 12-3 brutal, even if they can do nightmare. And that's because of the hidden power of mystery shards, which I actually plan on doing a dedicated video on that pretty soon. But I think it's important to understand, because if you get too low on mystery shards, it's going to be a little bit tougher for you to round off completing some of those champion chase and summon rush events, especially during fusions and fragment champion events and stuff like that, which you can see articulated when I pull up the drop rate analysis infographic that I made for this video. And the thing that stands out is on nightmare difficulty, you are not getting any mystery shards. Now, they tend to bump up the chance for like 2-star champions and 3-star champions, but you actually get less rare champions in nightmare, because remember the energy spent. Now you get more 2 stars and stuff like that, but it's really not that much better when you consider the fact that it's double the energy, because this would need to be 12% and this would need to be 4% in order to make up for the double energy cost. Now you do get a little bit more XP per energy spent on nightmare compared to brutal, but there's going to be more overkill XP. And what do I mean by that? When you're doing a run and your champion, like say you've got your farmer, your ethos or whatever, and then you've got your three food champions. Well, the run that they hit max XP, they're not going to take advantage of all of the XP they're getting. They're going to take advantage of it up to a certain point, then they're going to hit max, and then all of the overkill XP, the XP above the maximum, is completely wasted. So you get more overkill XP in Nightmare. So really the percentages aren't that crazy. It is gonna scale out to be a little bit more XP per energy on Nightmare, but it's pretty negligible. So really, I wouldn't feel that bad if you're not able to do the nightmare campaign, because I think most people should be doing brutal to make sure they keep a constant stockpile of mystery shards flowing into their account. If you do nightmare for too long, you're going to keep dropping and dropping on your mystery shard count. So as long as you can get to 12-3 brutal and farm it with a solo champion that has 3 food champions alongside you, you should be in a good spot, and it's perfectly endgame viable. Even me, who's been playing for almost 4 years, I pretty much prefer 12-3 brutal over nightmare, because I want to make sure that whenever there's a champion chase or a summon rush or something, that I have the capability to pop off 1,000 mystery shards to get 1,000 points if I want, and that's equal to 2 sacred shards. So over the long haul of playing raid, it's going to end up coming up with situations where that makes a lot of sense, and you want to make sure you've got mystery shards in the chamber ready to go. And in my opinion, the best farmer for 12-3 Brutal is going to be Fellhound. I've got the infographic over there if you want that. I'll try to remember to put it down in the video description and also the pinned comment. And I do have a dedicated video, I believe, on breaking down how to build an effective Fellhound. But the nice thing about the infographic is over here on the right, it's going to show you the stats that you want. And Fellhound's an interesting one because he scales with both defense and attack. So it's really cool that you can make use of some of that defense and attack gear, because defense and attack are typically some of the least synergistic stats in the game that you don't usually want both of them on the same piece. And you can also build him super slow at like 105 speed. So I definitely recommend looking out for the Void Rare Fellhound, so at some point you can min max and get your 5-second farmer on 12-3 Brutal, and make sure that you've got the constant influx of mystery shards coming in. So with that being said, would it ever make sense to farm Nightmare Campaign? And is there anything that I would change if I was Plarium to make it a little bit more viable for endgame players? You know, I think that the Nightmare Campaign could make sense if you're at a point where you've got just thousands and thousands of mystery shards. So like right now I'm sitting at 3,600, which I mean, if you're at like 10,000, 12,000 mystery shards or something, then sure, go ahead and farm the Nightmare Campaign and get the little bit better of XP per energy spent on the Nightmare Campaign, as long as you've got someone that can do it reasonably fast, you know, 20, 30 seconds, something like that. I'm actually working on a video pretty soon showing Ethos being absolutely insane in the Nightmare Campaign and doing an infographic on that, so that should be a lot of fun. But anyway, I think if you've already got a massive stockpile of mystery shards, maybe go ahead and do Nightmare. And also, if you are like in a high enough spending tier, or you've got your account in a place where you're not worried about needing mystery shards for finishing summon rushes or champion chase events, like if that's not of interest to you, then sure, I think the Nightmare Campaign would make perfect sense for that person who isn't worried about min-maxing with mystery shards in events. But I am definitely not in that boat. You know, I like to min-max and be efficient with my shards as best as possible. And typically the rule that I use is if I'm under 5,000 mystery shards, then I make sure I'm doing Brutal to keep the stockpile flowing. And if I get up to, you know, 5,000, 7,000 mystery shards, then I'm willing to kind of dive into Nightmare with a Hermdig. And I also make sure to check the market for all of the mystery shards. I can scoop up every refresh. I dive in and I scoop up the mystery shards because they are definitely worth it for 5,000 silver, unless you're like broke on silver. If you've got like 1 or 2 million silver, maybe don't be spending the constant silver daily on mystery shards. But anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. I'll probably get a dedicated video out here on the channel talking about mystery shard management and their value, and kind of get a graphic out about that and everything around mystery shards, specifically within the acquisition on your account and keeping them coming in. But this video here was more about making sure that you understand the mystery shard drop rate in Nightmare is 0. So just be armed with the knowledge that if you are farming Nightmare, you are not acquiring any mystery shards. And like I said, some people might like that, some people might not, but it is important to have that knowledge in your arsenal. And I will also include this infographic down below if you would like to pull this up on your end and have it for your records if you're ever curious about the campaign difficulty drop rates. So let me know down below in the comment section, what area of the campaign do you farm? Do you agree or disagree with me? Do you think Nightmare is better than I'm giving it credit for? And all of that, I really enjoy hearing your opinions as well. And remember to subscribe on your way out if you enjoy daily Raid Shadow Legends content. I'll see you soon in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace.